everybody, this is Milesluigi welcoming you back to Let's Play Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. And after a big long delay caused by Christmas and other things, Evilpoptart and Higsby both had to be away due to circumstances. Guess you could say both of them have been lost in time. Since the series isn't updated in a while, I figured I might as well go ahead and give you guys the next update. Last time, Professor Egad, there was a huge time paradox that happened where Professor Egad learned something new due to us meddling around in the past, which allowed us to take out the volcano here. So now the volcano has completely cooled down and we can go back up to the top of the volcano and, well, have fun. So, since I cleared out all the enemies from earlier, the entire area is cleared out, and a normal player, I suppose, would have been in a hurry. Oh, shoot, the volcano is going off, and it's like, I gotta get up here really fast, or get down to the bottom of the mountain really fast, pay it out, and then you take care of all the enemies, which no matter how you do it, it doesn't matter. Just cleared all the enemies so you can stay decently leveled. Anyway, us putting out the volcano just ruined the fun of this couple. Looks like we have Mr. Thwomp and Mrs. Thwomp, who's obviously in the way. And because we're plumbers, because you know plumbers are the very best people in the world to put out a volcano, we are the ones responsible for putting out the volcano. Evidently the volcano actually goes off at a very rhythmic fashion once a year. It was scheduled to go off, and it's like, oh, it goes off here right now. So this volcano erupts once every year, and we pulled it out, and we ruined this couple's fun, so now we go squish. Aha! This is Mrs. Thwomp. Just in case you couldn't tell, Mrs. Thwomp. Alright, so this boss, if you guys remember the original Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, or Superstar Saga Plus, that playthrough, this boss is, for all intents and purposes, basically the same as Trunkle. A high defense boss, that's why she only has 650 HP, so this entire Smash Eggs that I'm doing here isn't going to amount to too much damage in the long run. Oh, on the bright side, we did just pick up another copy flower. That's a really awesome bro item here. Let's go down here and look at my entire item list. I haven't shown off the trampolines too much, so let's go ahead and show that one off yet. This is so many attacks in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time are just do them until you fail, or they just get down to a really small window to where it can be really difficult to fail anyway. In this case, the attack just ended because we actually hit a specific checkpoint where Trunkle splits into 4, and now all the Trunkles are raising their eyebrows to indicate which brother they're going to attack after. So can you memorize 4 actions in a row? Hopefully you can, but now that there are 4 Trunkles on in the battlefield, the actual real Trunkle is in danger of getting attacked because the real Trunkle no longer has a lot of defense here. I guess you could say this boss is supposed to be a rollover because she's supposed to have a lot of defense for this point in the game, but at the same time we have a lot of abilities. Right now I am just using pocket jumps because pocket jumps can just wall up on all of these Trunkles. Little Trunkles. Wow, Mrs. Thwomps. Wow, did I call this boss Trunkle? Mrs. Thwomp is what I meant to say, which the boss really doesn't look like a Thwomp at all. It's just a giant boulder. But now we know that giant boulders likes to marry Thwomps. They're very related, or maybe the giant boulders are the females and the Thwomps are the males. That's another way to think about it. However, it has unfortunate ramifications for Tom when you think about it. Here comes Tom. Yeah. I feel so bad for Mrs. Thwomp that I decided to just pull out a regular good old-fashioned green shell, which admittedly I actually pulled out for the sake of seeing Tiger Luigi, because I just love that animation way too darn much. There we go. But yeah, since Trunkle here in the small form just standing out there open, why don't I go ahead and just put her out of her misery altogether with our Copy Flowers ability. Here we go. Copy Flowers. Alright, so I was talking about how moves in Mario and Luigi Partners Time didn't go on forever. Well, this thing that's just a constant stream of damage provided you can press the right button, and it does get faster, and you do have to follow along, and I'm not the greatest at it, but it's an attack that theoretically can deal like 5-6 times as much more damage as like all of your other attacks if you can keep a nice long stream of Copy Mario Brothers out after the boss there. So it has a high skill ceiling that I'm definitely not reaching, but it's theoretically capable in a like tool-assisted speedrunner, someone who is really skilled in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, just 1-round bosses possibly, or 2-round, 3-round bosses. It's an extremely powerful pro item. Anyway, Mrs. Thwomp barely had any chance at all to show off any of her moves at all. I feel so bad. So why don't I go ahead and show off a couple of the moves that Mrs. Thwomp can do. which include, let's see here, an attack that involves her slamming the ground, because she's a rock, and an attack where she just gives you items by shooting rocks at you. I'm seeing a big theme here. Lots of rocks. Rocks all over the place. Just rocks all over the place. Anyway, we should treat ladies nice. We just beat up a... This is a true couple here. Although, unfortunately, Mrs. Thwomp's husband, Mr. Thwomp, what kind of last name is that now that I think about it? Then again, this is the Mushroom Kingdom, and in the Mushroom Kingdom, species' last name tend to be just their species. So, for example, this is Mrs. Thwomp, and this is Mr. Thwomp. However, if you had like a gathering of Thwomps, how would you separate the Thwomps? There's Mr. Thwomp, and Mr. Thwomp, and Mr. Thwomp. You'd separate them by their first name, naturally. So there's Ted, there's Bob, there's Tom, and then there's this guy who's going to serve as our elevator down into the volcano, because that's actually where we need to go, down into the volcano. Anyway, Luigi is a little out of it because he kind of forgot about his younger self. Oh no. Luigi forgot about baby Luigi. So, baby Luigi, if you could remember this event, maybe you could kind of remind your adult self. Well, who am I kidding? This is years after the fact. You would have forgotten that. If you had to remember a specific detail of your life 20 years ago, would you be able to do that? Just imagine just some random day that happened 20 years ago, and you were told you need to remember this day. You probably wouldn't be able to do that. Just saying. It'd be really difficult, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the volcano. We're massive jerks. Yeah, I actually kind of agree with that. We just beat the living daylights out of Mr. and Mrs. Thwomp. We are massive jerks. The only thing worse that we could do is deliver glitter to them, which okay, for you guys who don't understand, this is a recent thing that I recently learned about, but there is actually a business out there that is all about, hey, is there someone you hate? We'll mail glitter to them with a note inside, so you can totally ruin their day by mailing glitter to them. Which, if you guys don't know, glitter gets all over everything, as impossible to like completely remove without burning down your house. So if you get glitter in your house, you have to like burn down your house. But glitter is no problem for Bowser at all. You see, if you're able to breathe fire, it's kind of inducive to you to live somewhere where you can freely breathe fire without worrying about burning anything down. It's actually a useful thing because you could use your fire breathing ability to cook your food. But once again, I'm reminded of the fact that if you're able to breathe fire, just simply creating fire has to be a pretty energy-intensive process. If for nothing else, like having your body synthesize the liquids to make the fire really easily, which would probably be the most energy-efficient way to make the fire. But still, there's a lot of potential energy in those chemicals, you know? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm talking over this. Baby Bowser and adult Bowser have found each other. Remember, that's not Bowser Jr., because this is Mario and Luigi Partners in Time with all the wacky, facky, time-travel-y. These are two Bowsers, and they are interacting with each other. Unlike Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, who don't talk, these guys actually do talk back to each other, and they're both kind of... You know, Bowser really hasn't matured at all, or at least in this canon of the Mario universe. Bowser is not a very mature person. Then again, I don't think, or Koopa, I should say. I don't think Bowser's ever really been depicted as a very mature person. He's been depicted kind of as I guess a bad guy is the best way to describe it. A bad guy. Oh boy, just bad guy. You know, he's a bad guy. Anyway, we have made it into the Thwomp Volcano, also the source of some really, really, really heavy fat beats. So, yeah, get out your boom boxes for this area. All right. So, welcome to the Thwomp Caverns, the strong beep. So, think about it. Thwomps come here every year to just smash down to the volcano. It sounds like one of those kind of events that has to be really thrilling. Just slam down into the volcano, make it down to the lava down below, and then have fun in the lava. Like you wouldn't slam down into a volcano unless you were expecting to land into lava. So... yeah, okay. I guess Thwomps I guess they enjoy going into the lava. I guess, relatively speaking, it would be like if you had to jump off a diving board into a pool of water that is excessively hot. Not like boiling hot, that's way too hot, but I would say, you know, hot enough that if you were to go into it, you wouldn't want to stay in it. Way more than hot tub. I'm not trying to think of a better decent analogy for this other than just diving into a pool of really hot water. Should I just give it an approximate temperature? Let's just say 135 degrees Fahrenheit. I actually think that burns. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that in Celsius, Milesluigi? 45 degrees Celsius. I'll just go with that. Anyway, gameplay. So, In the Thwomp Volcano, there's occasionally these segments where we have to fall down and there's a whole bunch of coins for us to collect. Technically, the coins are infinite, but we'll be spending forever if we wanted to try to grind coins here. It's not really all that much in our interest to do that. But anyway, because we had to send Baby Mario and Baby Luigi that way, and regular Mario and Luigi can't get to that tornado in quite the same fashion, we had to send them out ahead and then use the pipes to get them back to us. Going in here, we have ran into our first enemy. This guy, by the way, you know, it's those thwacks that we were running into earlier. Now it's a thwack totem. Yes, a big totem pole of thwacks. So now they all just decide to jump on top of each other. And wow, are you the slowest thing in the world? Because I just attacked twice in a row. I don't know what rule of Mario and Luigi Partners in Time dictates, hey, I am so slow that you get 2 attacks on me. That's actually a decent question, although they definitely rolled over Baby Mario and Baby Luigi in this specific situation because I was not quite ready for their attacks. I should probably heal them up. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Just a regular mushroom, there we go. That should help make up for my ignorance. Speaking of things, I haven't checked my equipment in all too long. That's right, I still have Big Pow on Mario and Luigi for that previous mini-boss battle. Not exactly the best badge in question. Let me throw a cashback badge back onto Luigi, so... There we go. Let's bring the babies and the adults back to each other so we can figure further things out here. Alright. So it's a fun pastime for Thwomps to go into raging boiling things of lava. However, in traditional Mario games, you normally see a Thwomp go into lava and it's a death for the Thwomp, and what the fudge? Okay, to explain, those enemies are gold Coupleons. If you remember the Coupleons that we saw way back in the Vim Forest, they're the same enemy, just they're golden, because, you know, since they're golden, they're worth a lot more money. Okay, how much paint would it take to cover Mario, okay? Now turn that all into gold paint, and what would be the value of that paint? Okay, the internet has to have the answer to this question. If I were to cover myself entirely with paint, how much paint would it take? Ah! Okay, well, thankfully Mario got right back after that. These gold Coupleons, they have a ton of speed, but you know what? I've got my trump card, the copy flowers. Whew, once again, I gotta emphasize, these things are very powerful, provided you're not a scrub like me. Holy cow. That was awful. Yeah, how in the world am I going to be able to recover from that? I suppose the next best thing here would be to try to get into trampoline hit to try to kill this Coupleon. So, in case you didn't notice, gold Coupleons are max defense enemies, but they don't have too much HP, and also I just stunned him so I can mess up like I just messed up there. Wow, I am a scrub right now. I am doing horrendous, although it was enough to kill the gold Coupleon. So if you kill one, you get a decent amount of gold? Or was it because Luigi killed the enemy? In case you didn't notice, it's not like ridiculous experience grinding capabilities from the gold Coupleon. Also, we just got 7 copy flowers for that one block here. That's pretty awesome there. Here we go. But like a regular Coupleon, they can turn invisible, which doesn't exactly help them all too much. But let's not be a scrub at copy flowers and show its true potential, just like that. Well, its true potential takes a little bit more to show there. Doesn't it? Yeah. Yes, it does. A little bit more. Here we go. There's a bean in the ground over here. There we go. So my original question was, how much paint would it take to cover a human body? And then take that, how much gold would that equate to? Yes, let's just melt a whole bunch of gold onto myself, which would be scalding hot and burning. And then it's like there'd be a statue of myself. I'd be dead because, you know, scalding hot gold. But I'd have a golden statue of myself, which would be remembered for the ages, for until some war raged on and someone broke the golden statue. The gold would protect me from the outside, though, so I wouldn't. I would rot on the inside. You have living beings inside of you, you know. Let's not think about this because we have actually reached a quote-unquote important area of the game. I'll explain it a little bit, because we have this Thwomp who lives inside of the volcano. Living inside of a volcano is a Thwomp. Oh, there we go. That's how you get enjoyment out of life. Rent here has to be extremely expensive, though, with the Thwomp's pastime of going into lava in here. Interesting how the volcano of all places would be a good place for a Thwomp to live. Oh man, I'm not trying to think if there's a real life analogy of this. This place in the world is really good for this kind of person to live, and therefore the rent is really high, even though let's just say another type of person would have absolutely no value in living there. Is it bad that the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of something like that would be unfortunately really racist? Anyway. Well, this is a little pinball game that we get to play. So we have to roll all over this Pachinko machine. Okay. On the bright side, we have direct control over Mario and Luigi, so this Pachinko machine wow, can I speak today? Reproduction is completely riggable by us to get all the diamonds. However, as you can see, you gotta be careful with your diamond collecting because not all of them you can just get off the ground. You have to fall into some of them. Anyway, after we collect the diamonds, the number of diamonds you've collected will dictate the prize, or the spinning wheel here, which spins slow enough that we can completely rig. So ideally, we want to get stars. And thankfully, it always goes mushroom, flower, star. So, and if we get 3 stars in a row, we get a single bean. All right, here's why I said quote-unquote important area of this game. If you want to get every single one of Fawful's badges in the game, you've got to play this game and grind beans. 1 bean at a time, which means, yes, every single time you spin this wheel, guess what? 1 bean. And the whole game itself costs 100 coins to play, so you may want to do a little bit of gold grinding as well, which I still have yet to figure out what is the best way to grind gold in Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. But in any case, this is how we grind for badges in the game, and oh, holy cow, what in the world? I wasn't paying attention. I have 108 beans? Why didn't I notice that before? That is a lot of beans. That's well over a certain threshold that I've been waiting to meet for right now. What in the world am I doing? I need to get out of here. Okay. Running all over the place later, I realized that I can't actually get out of here quite yet because I've gone past the point of no return, actually. So unfortunately, I have to go through a little bit more of the dungeon. So I just skipped past like 5 minutes of me wondering, how do I get back? Unfortunately, I need to play the dungeon a little bit further here. So here we go. Now our next enemy here is the blazing shroom. See, this is what happens when you enter a volcano. Your head gets turned on fire, and unless you're a shroom, I guess you're supposed to die because it's supposed to be really hot here. This game is doing a terrible job just emphasizing how hot it would be in a volcano. It's just like, yeah, we're in a volcano, cool. Anyway, natural intuition is telling me to use the ice flowers against these guys, which they work pretty decently though. It wasn't any critical hits, I'll give you that, but I don't know, just natural intuition is telling me if that they're able to survive with a fire on their head, a fire-based attack would probably not be a good idea. Not that it wouldn't do damage, that's actually a good question. I don't think I used a fire flower on them. I mean, if you put a Charizard against a Charizard and use a fire-based attack on the other Charizard, it's just not very effective. I haven't played my Pokemon long enough, holy cow, but I think it's just not very effective, but it still does damage. So if the enemy is at 1 HP, you could just do a little fireball spit attack, and you're like, yeah, you're gone. It's not very effective. Enemy fainted. There we go. So let's go ahead and clear out all the rest of the enemies in this place here. So it is interesting to point out, even though it didn't happen last battle, that with an ice flower, it is actually possible to put out the fire on a blazing shroom. I want to say it also happens sometimes when you jump on them, but the natural consequence of jumping on an enemy that's on fire is that you take damage instead of them. And it's not guaranteed to work. Gosh darn it, Milesluigi, you need to do your research ahead of time. And the bright side, at least Higsby isn't here to ask me, are you sure? You see, I actually make that statement based on the fact that if you're on the overfield and you jump on a blazing shroom, you start the battle taking damage. But usually the blazing shrooms actually go out, and I know that happened to me, actually. So the safer method is just use the ice flowers. It's unfortunate that our only abilities in the overworld right now is to jump on enemies, and if we're the babies on themselves, we can also hammer them. But that's basically our only method of first striking enemies. And yeah. Oh, wow, Luigi, you are down for the count, but not anymore. Wow, such little HP. That was just standard attacks, and I took out the gold Leon. But no, I guess a little bit more variety in how we can approach enemies and better interactions between Mario and Luigi and the enemies in the overworld, I think would have made this game go a little bit better. Also, Milesluigi, what are you doing? You're already jumping in that hole. Ugh. But like compare and contrast with the Paper Mario series, where yeah, normal Mario you can just jump and you can hammer and cool, but it's like then you have all your partner abilities. So it's like you could slam a Koopa shell into them, or you could throw a bomb on their back and boom, or you could surprise attack, and we're just like, oh my gosh, the partners let you do so much more. And unfortunately, the Mario Brothers by themselves just aren't capable of doing a whole lot more. Now, if we could get a raccoon tail, or maybe a cape, or something like that, you know, I want to see in the next Mario RPG if it is just gonna be Mario by himself. Okay, Sticker Star kind of did this actually with the raccoon sticker. There wasn't a cape sticker though. Anyway, I am no longer past the point of no return, and I made it back to the pipe that lets me leave the area. Yes! You wanna know what this means? We got a long trek over to Fawful's shop that we gotta make. A really long trek. Also, what are you up to? You're just angry. Jerk. Woohoo! Oh, finally. Okay, well, Yoshi pointed out that I missed a bean. I want you guys to tell me, do you see a bean there? I want you to watch that video like 5 times to see if you could have seen the bean there. Okay, now that I got that taken care of, before we actually go to Fawful's shop. Okay, we're at Fawful's shop right now, never mind. Never mind. Hello, Fawful, our ever so wonderful enemy of the last game. You're about to grace me with the most broken best badge in the game, util-free badge. Alright, so okay, take your favorite RPG, okay? And just imagine now that you can use all the special moves with no punishment at all. In my case, I'll just say the original Paper Mario. Just imagine if you had a badge. Let's just say it costs 7 BP. Wow, okay, this would be horribly overbroken. Let's just say it costs 10 BP, original Paper Mario. And it's a badge that says, all attacks are free, no FP. That's what this badge is. You get to use bro items for completely free, okay? Anyway, let's actually take a look at some of the not broken badges in the game that we could buy at this point and just scoff at them because you just got a badge that just lets us do everything for free. And not only that, if we want to, we could grind beans and buy multiple of them, thereby eliminating the need at all to like ever do standard attacks all together. Matter of fact, there's another badge that we're getting that actually is kind of the opposite of util free. We'll be seeing that in a little bit, but all right, after our big wow, look at that Thwomp go. After our little diversion to get the util free badge, util free is broken not just because it use bro attacks are free, but there's another piece of equipment later in the game that we're going to be getting that basically, it's not a guaranteed first attack in battle, but might as well be because it increases your speed a ridiculous amount. So if you apply that equip onto a bro and give that bro util free, you can start every single battle. Oh, here we go. So notice, I jump on the blazing Shroom. Okay, none of them actually got put out there. Anyway, I am terrible at battling these guys because I, unfortunately, have been put into a situation where Mario has died. So never mind whatever the hell I was talking about because I already lost my train of thought because I'm about to do something you should not do at home, kids. You should like never ever do this because now all your muscle memory just went out of the whack and now you need to press the B button and the X button instead of the A button and the B button. Let's try that again. Here we go. So now we're totally throwing dyslexia into our muscle memory as we have to press buttons that we normally don't have to press together. And it actually works. There we go. Haha. Mario is now the least powerful member on my team, or at least experienced, I should say. He's not too far behind. I only let him die for 1 battle. So, death in 1 battle sets you to 1 HP, which I guess could be theoretically useful if you were doing some minimum level run. I don't know. Otherwise, you could like purposely let them out. Oh, but the experience you'd be missing on so much experience, it'd only be useful in like a low level run. See? Look, that Shroom went out because of a jump. I am not crazy, okay? Look, he got put out and now he got destroyed. See? Evidence that if you jump on a Shroom, he can be put out. Though I didn't jump directly on the Shroom, I guess is the key thing there. How else would you replicate that effect? I don't know how you would replicate that effect. How about that? Huh. Okay. Let's have a better look at some of the Blazing Shroom's attacks that just destroyed me last battle because I wasn't paying attention, and once again because I'm a little bit of a scrub at the game that can't look at the arm that is being tossed at fireballs at Mario and Luigi. Good Lord, Milesluigi. Okay, there we go. Oh man, just like when we were outside the volcano, we had a ton of Thwomp architecture all over the place, and that same architecture is being showcased all over the place. There are just tons of Thwomp architecture with the Lucky Badge. Lucky Badge, I think, just increases the likelihood of lucky hits. Do I even check that badge? No, checking badges is for scrubs. Okay. But yeah. If this was all just theoretically made by the Thwomps and isn't like dead fossilized remains of other Thwomps, that begs the question of how they were able to do that. Do they just smash into stone for until like figures and shapes get made? Like, they don't have hands, so how else are they going to be able to do it? I'm going to smash into this thing of rock over and over and over and over and over again until it forms the shape that I want it to form, okay? Anyway, I might as well expand a little bit more about that down bro mechanic that we saw earlier, because it's been referenced in past videos and it was actually showcased there. If an adult goes down in a battle where you have all 4 brothers, you get to play as the baby version of that bro. Now, if the baby goes down, then, well, that slot is entirely dead, unfortunately. But the idea is you can theoretically have just baby Mario and regular Luigi out if you want to, or you could have baby Luigi with regular Mario. And what that ends up causing for a lot of your bro items, if you choose not to heal your brother, is it completely throws your sense of dyslexia completely out of order, because you have to start pressing buttons that you almost never press for attacks. Like I said before, oh shoot, I have to press the B and the X button now, or you'd have to press the A and the Y button, and your thumb actually has to move a little further instead of the button next door. You have to press the button adjacent to the other button. Did I already go in here? No, I didn't. This is a brand new room. So, down bro mechanic, oft underused mechanic altogether, because commonly you don't want to let one of your brothers die. But anyway, this is another one of the slow-moving platforms that will just slowly go all over the place, and unfortunately we don't have any super jumps, ultra jumps, or capes to make it through this, so we do have to slowly but surely get through this entire area. Someone must have saw like that platform that was in Higsby's cave in Mario 64 and thought, that's a good idea. A really slow moving platform, okay? But the thing is, this game doesn't have a complicated like physics platforming engine like Mario 64 or hell, a Super Mario Brothers game. Mario Brothers, their jumps don't have momentum per se or anything that make a platform game, because at heart this is an RPG. You know, and your goal isn't to make that kind of level of complexity, which no big deal. But when you got slow-moving platforms like that, it's like, oh, wow, I am just watching the screen do this. And it's great if you're like on a bus ride playing this game, and it's like you just press the button and let it go. And I guess while it's going, you can talk to your friends. And it's like, well, there we go. Oh, shoot. Did I just not make it into that room to the left? I just did. I'm missing a room. I must make it to that room to the left. What did I just do? I missed an area. That is a problem. What? And the platform disappeared. I can't go back? Oh, well, guess that means there's only one.